Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel, we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before buying any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. Also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. Just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. And I also provided a link for Webull. You could use that to start an account and get 2 free stocks. I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get 1 free stock. Just to let you guys know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you do have a recommendation, leave a comment below and I'll try to get to your video. Okay, so with nothing more about that, let's get into the market today. Today, the Dow was down today, 0.81%. The S&P 500 was down a little bit, 0.19%. And the NASDAQ was down in the morning, and it ended up the day up 0.76%. So the stock I wanted to take a look at today is going to be Alibaba. Okay, I did a video on this before, a full technical analysis. As you could see, I already have the chart laid out for us. I have the support and resistance mapped out. So if you haven't taken a look at the video I did before, I will provide a link right now in the upper right-hand corner. You could go take a look at that and see how I got to these points. Okay, so today is March 19th, 2021, and Alibaba finished the day at $239.79. It was up $3.36, which was 1.42%. And after hours, it is up another 41%, which is 0.17%. And over here looking at our chart, we are looking at the daily chart here, and you could see the top of our chart here, we have a high of 319.32. We reached that level on October 27th, 2020, okay? So after we hit that high, we saw this stock drop to a low, which we reached actually on Christmas Eve. And the low we reached was $211.23. Now, we saw the big drop happen because of their CEO was, they actually had a lot going on in this period of time between the high and the low right here. One of the things that happened was they were supposed to have an IPO happen and it didn't go through. And also their CEO, a lot of things happened with him for a period of time there. I think for like a week or two, he was declared missing or something. Nobody could find him. So that's what happened with this stock right here. And I wanted to give an update now with the correction happening to see how our support and resistance held up. So as you could see, after this happened with all that and it reached that low, it actually has recovered a little bit. And you could see here, it recovered and then it dropped during the correction. And now it's starting to recover again after the correction. I'm not sure we're out of the woods with this correction yet. We have seen these bond yields fluctuate in the past couple weeks. And, you know, some of these stocks are still dropping in price with the movement of the bond yield. So I have our high of the chart at 320. That's going to be our high resistance point. And our support below the high is going to be 300. And we broke that during the drop from the high. And we also lost our next support, which was 280 during the fall, during all that commotion with the CEO and the IPO. During this period of time, we also lost our next support level, which was $260, and it just kept falling to our last support right here. Well, it wasn't our last support, but it was one of our last ones that we had mapped out, which was 220, and it finally caught this falling knife, as you want to call it, and it held up at 220 as our support right here, and it finally recovered and bounced off of that 220 support, and it finally recovered off of that. So looking back at our chart here, it looks like our 220 support level was good, and you could see here that it's trading now during this correction. It's going to be trading in between this 220 support and this 260 resistance. Now you saw a little bit of a recovery after the IPO disaster and all that, and it did get above that 200-day moving average and that 50-day moving average, and it was starting to trade in between the 260 and the 280 support and resistance, but then we lost that during the correction, and it did drop below that 260 support, and now we are in between the 220 and 260 again, and it's just trading in between there. It looks like it's bouncing up and down, and it's getting close to the 220. So right now, looking at this stock, let me zoom in here so we could get a closer look. You could see it tried to come up towards this 50-day moving average, which right now is about $248 here. So it's trying to come up towards that 50-day moving average, but it's not quite making it there. So it did drop down again during the correction, and it's trying to make its way back up. So the way I would trade this here, I would be watching that 50-day moving average. If it's not able to break that right there, I'm going to be guessing it's going to take a dive back towards that 220 mark, and it's just going to trade in between there, between that 50-day moving average and the 220 support for now, until it's able to break through and eventually break through our 260 resistance right here. So that's how I would trade this for now. I'd just be watching that 50-day moving average and see if it could break that. And you got to be careful right now in the market because there's a lot of volatility with these bond yields going on, and you just don't know what, from one day to the next, what's going to happen. One day people are freaking out about these bond yields, and the next day it seems like everyone's fine with it. So you don't know what to do from one day to the next. So you got to be very careful with that. Okay, so that's my update on Alibaba. If you guys liked it, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below. And we'll see you next time on Chart Stoppers.